RuPaul's Drag Race episode 13 came on last night. Let's talk about it. Spoilers ahead, so if you haven't caught up, feel free to come back later. The episode starts with Lana's goodbye message. Everyone enters the workroom from last week. Everyone's starting to realize, like, there's just 5 of them left. That's crazy. Everyone's talking about the amount of wins Anya has. And then, there's some comments made about Jules' performance and that she is the one with the least amount of wins. I think this is starting to get in Jules' head, unfortunately. Poor Jules. It doesn't help what happens the next day. So the next day, they all go in the workroom. Ru tells everyone, hey, we're going to play a game, spill the tea. And that's the game where, everyone gets a paddle with people's faces on it, and Ru asks a question, everyone gives their answer, and whoever gets, matches with everyone else gets points. Fortunately, one of the questions was, who do you think is the next queen to go home? Everyone voted Jules, except for Jules, obviously, and I think that this didn't help that insecurity, but we got the most wholesome moment in the whole show. Ru announces that their family members are here to do a makeover challenge with them. Have Sam's mom, Susie's mom, Lexi's mom, Anya's father, and Jules' father show up, and their reunions are so sweet. I actually was tearing up. Everyone seems so sweet and everyone was so happy to be there. I did feel really bad for Susie in this episode because you can tell she is not as close to her mother as everyone else is close to their other parents. I think this was kind of a harder challenge for Susie because I don't think her mother had been as present in her drag life as maybe the other parents have been. So I think we learned a little bit more about Susie in this episode and her upbringing. Also, we learned a lot about Jules. Jules' brother recently passed away, I think 2 years ago, and so she was really excited that her father was there and that this is something that could kind of bring their family back together. I also thought it was very sweet that Lexi had this awesome moment with her mother. I think they've kind of had some ups and downs in regards to Lexi's transition, and her mom was using the correct pronouns. It was just really sweet. And you could tell they really grew stronger in their bond together throughout this episode. I thought that was so nice. And then Anya's father seemed so nice. They really connected. We learned that he had been incarcerated previously. So he missed some kind of important moments in Anya's life. But he made it to Drag Race, and Anya makes a comment later on how that's the most important thing. He's so excited to see his father. I thought that was so nice. And of course, Sam and his mother had a wonderful connection as well. It was just cool to see everyone interact with their parents. On the judging panel this week, we had Law Roach and June Diane Raphael. I love June. I love her so much. If you guys don't listen to How Did This Get Made, I highly recommend it. That's my favorite podcast ever. I think June's so funny, and so it was cool to see her on this episode. I think everyone did a really good job with this challenge. There was definitely family resemblance, some more than others, but it looked like everyone had a great connection with their parents, and they just had fun. It looked like just a really fun day. Sam and his mother ended up winning the challenge for their family resemblance. Susie Toot and Lexi Love and their parents were safe. So Anya, for the very first time, she was in the bottom along with Jules. They performed a lip sync to One Thing. Man, this was a tough one because they were doing really well. I thought Jules was probably just gonna take it, and I was gonna be shocked if Anya went home. But thankfully, Ru pulled the whole, hey, y'all are both staying, because he wasn't ready to get rid of either of them. I was gonna be absolutely shocked if Anya went home because I think Anya's gonna win it all. I just really think Anya's probably the front runner. But I thought this was a fun episode. I think we learned more and more about the queens. I thought it was just a touching episode. I liked watching Untuck. Everyone was connecting, and the moment between Sam Starr and Susie Toot, that was cool. One thing I also really liked about this episode is the before and after photos that they took of each of the queens and their parents. I thought that was really cute. In the preview for next episode, Ru says at least one of you is going home. So that's a little scary. So I wonder what they're going to do next episode. I'm looking forward to seeing who wins. Getting so close to the end of the season, but I really enjoyed this episode and I thought it was really sweet.